Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Yummy BSB with me, Chef Peter Soulsby. Today, I've got an amazing recipe. We're going to make some spicy bean burgers, a great alternative to traditional beef burgers. Let's go through today's ingredients. I've got a tin of mixed beans, some sweet corn, breadcrumbs, half an onion, my egg, some cayenne pepper, some curry powder, some butter, which is optional, we'll talk more about that later, then just my burger garnishes. Today's equipment, really simple: a frying pan, a fork, chopping board, and a bowl. And of course, your knife. Step 1. I've drained my mixed beans. I'm going to add them into my mixing bowl. And into my mixing bowl, I'm going to put half a finely chopped onion. Really simple to chop an onion really fine. You don't need amazing chopping skills. 3 fingers or the claw. Have a little slice. Just go nice and slowly. Try and keep the onion together. Turn it the other way. And again, slice it the other way. And again, don't worry if it's not fine. Now, this is the bit anyone can do. This is called the hand rock. Knife down, put your hand on the top, and just have a little chop up like that. Bring it back together, a little chop up. Really easy to do. Try and get it as fine as possible. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. That'll do. And all we're going to do is add that into our mixing bowl. Step 2, we're going to add in our flavours into our bean mix. So I've got cayenne pepper. Again, I've put in the recipe, use half a teaspoon, and that'll give you a little bit of spice. If you don't want as much, don't put as much in. And also, I've got my curry powder. You could use any type of curry powder you've got. I'm going to put in quite a generous heaped teaspoon. In we go. Now, all we're going to do is make this into a paste by using the back of our fork. So bring your bowl on an angle like that, use the back of your fork and give it a really good mush. My fork is not very good, so I will just get another fork. There we go. And give it a really good mush. This will just take a few minutes. Try and get it as fine into a paste as you possibly can. You could use a food processor if you wanted to, but I think using a fork is a lot more fun. My best tip here is make sure you use strong forks. Step 3. We're going to add in our sweet corn, our breadcrumbs, then also we need an egg yolk to help bind the mix together. Quite tricky to do this, but it's a really good skill to have. So crack your egg confidently on the side of your bowl. Then get yourself another little bowl. We're going to open our egg, and we're just going to tip the yolk from one half of the shell to another, and all the white just literally drops off like that. Try and get as much of it off as possible, but don't worry if there's a little bit left on. It really doesn't make any difference. Then all we're going to do, we're going to take our egg yolk and tip it in. As with always, eggs straight in the bin. Then we wash our hands. Step 4. Now it's really important that we give our burgers a little season with salt and pepper. Then we just take a tablespoon and we just give it a really good stir and combine all those ingredients and flavors together. And it will start to stick together in clumps, which is exactly what we want. Make sure you get right to the bottom of the bowl. There we go. Step 5, it's now time to turn our mix into burgers. So first job, roll your sleeves up. You don't want bits of bean burger all over your clean shirt. Then, the biggest tip I can give you when you're doing this is wet your hands. It makes shaping your burgers a lot easier. Just literally a little bit of water and it makes all the difference. You could probably get about 3 pâtés out of 1 tin of beans. Try and get them all the same size. So first job, get it in your hand and just mold it together. And it should stick pretty well together like that. But you just need to take a little bit of time, care and attention with them. And mold it, as I'm doing, roll it between your hands. Make sure it's nice and stuck together. And by just taking this care and attention, it makes them stick together and not fall apart in the pan. So once you've got your golf ball on your hand, and just give it a pat down. Then just give it again, go round, shape it. There we go. And there's our first one. In again, the second one. A few minutes just binding it together in your hands. Into your golf ball, on your hand, and give it a pat out. Little circle, bind it again, and there we go. Last one. Try and get all the last bits of the ingredients or the mix in your hands. Give it a little mix in your hands like that. Pat it together into your golf ball, then just give it a nice pat. Don't worry if bits fall out, it's not the end of the world. There we go. And there we have our 3 beautiful bean burgers ready to cook. Step 6, it's now time to cook our burgers. I've got my frying pan heating up on a medium heat. I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of oil. And I'm also going to add some butter. Now the butter is an optional extra, but it gives the burgers a really nice flavour and a really lovely crust on the outside. So I'm just going to put in a couple of knobs that sizzles like that. Now, very carefully, put your burgers onto your spatula. Remember, the tops of your burgers are not hot, so you can touch them and just push them into our pan. On our spatula, into the pan. You need to handle your burgers with care, otherwise they will fall to bits. Now we're just going to cook those on both sides for about 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, we'll turn them over. After 5 minutes, your burgers will be ready to turn. Very carefully. Put your fish slice nice and gently underneath. Remember, the top of these burgers is not hot. And we're just going to very carefully flip it over. And we're looking for this beautiful golden brown colour on them. Turn over. And it's the butter that we put in there that is giving it this beautiful colour. So after another 5 minutes on the other side, it's now time to take our bean burgers out of our frying pan. Very carefully, just lift them onto your chopping board. Make sure you turn your cooker off. Now it's ready to plate up. Step 7, serve your bean burgers with whatever garnishes you would like. I've got some simple sliced tomato, some rockets, and a little bit of ketchup. Yummy BSB spicy bean burger, done.